was very lucky to be able to go to the Peel It Back tour. I went to the show in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm even luckier to have been invited by Josh Freese. Things I never thought would happen. And I have my guest pass right here. Should I wear it? Maybe like, why not? Badge of honor. If you're wondering if I got to meet Trent Reznor, I did not. You would definitely know if I did. I'm pretty sure it'll happen at some point. But I did get to meet Robin Fink briefly, and I got to chat a little bit with Alessandro Cortini, and he shared a lot of interesting things about composition and how he makes music. And I've got to hang out with Josh Freese and chat about drums, and we talked about the drums for Eraser. It was really fun. Anyway, this video is kind of not a review of the show. Kitty drama. I do want to talk about some of the things in the show that I found really cool and compelling and that surprised me. Was she mad? So the show was great. Trent was jumping around like a teenager on stage. Everyone gave it their all. It just sounded fantastic, and the visuals were super cool. The whole concept of the two stages actually worked really well. It helped to sort of separate the different different phases of the show. And, you know, Boys Noise and Nine Inch Nails did these really cool remixes together, which I really liked. I loved what they did with Vessel. Really kind of took it to the next level with a much more, I would say more like dance-focused beat, you know, more four on the floor. Right. And the Closer remix was also really cool. I wasn't sure I was going to feel about that. I'm pretty attached to Closer. I'm so attached to Closer being the way it is that when they started doing the only time interpolation during the bridge instead of the actual bridge of Closer, I would internally riot. I mean, I know it's cool and everything, but I just really missed hearing the actual bridge because I love the bridge in Closer so much. The synth part that I've played on piano here on Instagram. So they took that, Boys Noise, I'm not sure what his real name is, but he took that and he kind of glitched it up a little bit. Little what are they called? Stutters and little pieces of it too. At first it's just like da 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 da, and then you like wallow in the silence because I mean, at least I was like, I know it's Closer, it's coming. And the lighting was really interesting. It was all very red until this one moment. What was the song? There was one moment where they brought in blue light, and it was like you could feel the entire crowd gonna go, whoa, just to have that new sensory input after it being all red for a while. That was really exciting. And I felt it too. It was just like a shock of blue. And then from there on out, the lights were doing all sorts of interesting things. The screen around the main stage was so cool. I particularly loved the visuals for Reptile, which is just one of my favorite songs to hear live in general. The throbbing bass and huge drums, you know, just accentuated by the real drums. You know, he's hitting 2 drums every time. It's just so huge. And the lights flickering with the, you know, and the green. It's just so good every time. But yeah, the visuals were really a whole other level of awesome because there was like these layers of gossamer screens, but with very clear projections on them. And after the sort of Laura Palmer theme ascension in the bridge, the breakdown where when David Bowie did the live version with him, they started the Please Don't Hurt Me part, right? And it all resolves to this bizarre interval, da, 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 wah, right? And the visuals there were like, I don't know. I think someone with it's called trypophobia would be grossed out. It felt almost like a open wound in the ocean or something. It was just so amazing. And the visuals for Copy of the, I mean, they're always cool. I mean, I saw, the first time I actually saw Nine Inch Nails was the Tension tour. I saw them twice during that tour. And I just remember the visuals for Copy of It were so incredible. Very strobe light based. This one, though, was more, you know, they're taking a video feed of Trent Reznor and copying it all over throughout the screens with all the layers. Trent would move, and then all of his other ones, and they would all like slowly, one by one, drop down. All the different Trents, all the copies, and it was fun. And it was fun seeing him like kind of doing almost like a dance performance art to make the visuals look cool. It was fun. And I would say in terms of set list, it was like mostly bangers. Just really high energy stuff, one after the other. I was so surprised. Like, I was not ready for all that. And they played Mr. Self-Destruct, which I was definitely not expecting. When I heard the first I was taking a video, and you can hear me go, "No way! No way!" Like a total dork. I couldn't believe it, though. And but what I really want to talk about and nerd out about musically is what Trent Reznor did with Right Where It Belongs, Ruiner, and Somewhat Damaged. The one I remember the most is Ruiner, because he was playing everything. This is so nerdy, but I know you're going to love it, because otherwise you wouldn't be on my channel. So I loved what he did with Ruiner, because when I did my piano cover, I took his very sort of sparse synth line, which is kind of implying chords, but not really giving them to you. It's like the it goes like dun, those notes. So it's implying with the bottom note an A chord, an F chord, and a D chord. And when I did my piano cover, I made it a lot more fleshed out, because that's something I like to do. But I had to make some assumptions about if those were actually chords and not just the roots of chords, what chords would they be? And I chose the chords that fit into the A minor key, because that's how I heard it. But it was at the very beginning of my studies of Nine Inch Nails, so I didn't realize yet just how into major chords he was, and putting them all together in a sort of a modal interchange way. So maybe if I analyze the song now, I would have had a different assumption. But back then I went, da, 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 didn't you, minor, didn't you? It's much more hopeless and traditional sounding. It's not really that Trenty sounding, is it? Which is fine. I mean, I was doing an interpolation. But what he did live, I recorded it so I wouldn't forget. Okay, so he's singing way down here, which I can't do. But he's playing, he's got his bass notes, probably playing between octaves. It could be that low, I'm not sure. Up here though, he's playing this. So this is an add 9 chord. And he does a little roll. It's a little schmaltzy. So he's like, and then and then he does it with the next chord. Didn't you? And then does it with the next chord. And then does a little neighbor tone. Every time. It's so pretty. Didn't you? Didn't you? Didn't you? Isn't that nice? So here's what that tells me as a nerdy ass composer. To him, all these chords are major. They have modal interchange, and they have bluesy conflicts. It's a completely different sound than what I did, right? So in comparison, what I did, you had all of them on your side, didn't you? Didn't you? What he did, you lived in all your lives, didn't you? Sorry. Doesn't sound very good down low. See, he did a good arrangement choice. He put his crunchy ass chords up here where they sound less like they're colliding. So also he's singing down here. So he left room for himself. That was just sort of like, oh my God, the true nature of Ruiner has now come through thanks to him peeling back his composition and showing us what it really is. Now, I can say what you really are. And then he took, sorry, Pax. And then he took then the chorus is completely reharmonized. Right, so in the original, there's no chord progression there. If I were to play this on piano, it's like... Right, remember? Fantastic. How'd you get so big? How'd you get so strong? Instead, it's these major tenths, which I've come to recognize as a very Trent thing to do, and I wonder if Mike Garson rubbed off on him at all. Possibly, maybe not. It could just be a coincidence, but Mike Garson with the... Those are a bunch of tenths too. Anyway, so he goes... Maybe it's like that. Of course he's singing. He's hanging way down here. Nice, right? So this is a whole new interpretation. It still sounds like Ruiner, but it's different for sure. I mean, this flat 3 thing is a thing he likes to do. This minor third bass movement a lot. It's very Nine Inch Nails-y. And then all tenths major is very... The major tenths implies a major chord as well. A tenth is an exploded third. So if I collapse this, it'd be like... And if I made them all to... all majors, but you can just imply that and then you can spread it out. It's really sounds amazing, especially on a piano. But honestly, I've never heard a tenth I didn't like, so do tenths. Tenths are good. So that was exciting and fun to hear it a little bit of a different way, and this made it sound so much sleazier. How'd it get so wrong? Because it's so bluesy. And now this sort of hurt-esque room noise, that sort of hollow sound comes in. What was my major chords? Now... So I love how he took some of the lyrics from that pre-chorus. The Ruiner's got a lot to prove. He's got nothing. Just a couple, and put them into a verse, essentially, right? Same verse chord progression that he had, and verse rhythm, and ending it with "didn't you?" So I thought that was really creative. And then, where are those? Yeah, 10. So it is up there. Sorry. Kind of riffing on the new chord progression. I don't remember this part at all. I was probably like, I can't believe he did add 9 cards. Then they went into Piggy. He's singing the, he's doing this over, you know, you didn't hurt me, nothing can stop me now. And he's doing that kind of over this. And then it goes right into Piggy, and it's a different version. Now, the main thing I noticed about this version of Piggy is it doesn't have the swing. Piggy has swing. And swing makes things feel more casual. It's something about Piggy I've always been sort of a little bit mystified about, honestly. It's like, you know, but I'm also now attached to it because that's the way it is. But this is straight. Sorry. I know it's horrible listening to this quality. The other thing they did on the peeled back stage, which was cool, was the very, very beginning, which was Right Where It Belongs into Somewhat Damaged. And if you've heard Right Where It Belongs version 2, it's an even more sparse version of the song. You know, it doesn't have the... Right, it doesn't have that. That general kind of sparseness, but he made it even more sparse to sing over it. So he was just sort of like, the animal in his cage that you built. Something like that. I'm not sure I have it actually. Let me see. That's all I recorded? Let me see if someone else has a video of it. This is from Toronto. Just a single D.
Everything where it belongs. Feel the hollowness inside your heart, and it's all.
So yeah, it's like even simpler. He just starts with a D. So this just shows you, this is why knowing where that tonal center of a song is can be helpful, because if you just pulse or drone on that note, you can sing an entire song over it. It won't have harmonic movement. It might have implied harmonic movement, but it could be just enough. So he just starts that way. He even doesn't do the C at first, I think. And then the second time. Then he's going to follow what normally the bass does, but he keeps in this mid-range in the right hand. Normally it goes to a C in the bass, but he just kind of keeps it here. And then he hits this. And he hits the D in the bottom. But he's not doing the whole bass line from the original, which is, he doesn't hit the F. He just keeps it here. And he doesn't even do it in the left hand, but he does it here. And then he does a little interpolation of the dun. He just kind of goes like, sorry. He did sort of like a, or maybe it was like, no, I think it had this note in it. Something, you know, something just sort of remind you of that line that goes up. Different rhythm though. Now he's just pulsing with the left. Now he's going down, finally. This is a very trendy thing to do, and it's a great tip. He'll use octaves in the piano a lot. Piano sounds amazing in octaves anywhere, but it sounds especially amazing in this low register. So he'll sometimes do like a dip down, go, right, sounds amazing. But notice how he did it a little late, and this is, I'm sure, improvised. This is like probably not something he rehearsed, these exact moments when he does the dip down. These are just things that you like learn to do, almost like strumming. When you're strumming a guitar, you know, you might do it a little bit different every time, you know, little tiny changes. It's the same kind of thing. So, right after the downbeat, it's nice. There's those major tenths again.
Keep on looking, but you can't find the words. While you're hiding in the trees.
So that's mainly what he's doing, is he's playing the roots of the chords, which is these notes. Not this one. He's leaving that one out. And he is mostly just following in octaves with the right hand, and maybe here he hits the third of the chord here, right? But it goes to show you that with a good song, you kind of just need the bass and the vocals, and you have the song. Now, in my opinion, he's improvising in his right hand. He keeps his left hand on the roots. Sorry, I forgot how to play it. Oh my God, okay. He keeps his left hand on the roots. And the right hand, he's just like... you know, and doing little things with those right every so often just to kind of, but he mainly is just playing those roots, and that's all you really need. Sorry. Sorry. I can't remember the first note. G. So, yeah, it's just really lovely, and the song speaks for itself.
Find yourself afraid to see.
Now, somewhat damaged. Okay, so now he actually took the original bass line from Right Where It Belongs and gave us that punch line, so to speak, which is this low note from the verse. And he's singing the what part of Somewhat Damaged is this? Nice fake out there. He tried to give you, like, make it sound like he's about to explode. You know, by myself. There were you. Brings it back down. So, Why does this work? Why does it work to sing somewhat damaged over this chord progression? His 23rd resolving. So the perfect drug, now that they started playing it every tour, is becoming such a bright spot. Everyone's looking forward to seeing the drummer nail the perfect drug. And of course, Josh Freese is a monster. So I had no doubts. It sounded incredible. Loved the flair he put on things. Every drummer's got their own sound. And it felt like he was really having fun playing around in that space.
All right, Josh! All right, Josh!
Without you, everything falls apart.
Fantastic. And the ending of The Perfect Drug is so beautiful. I almost always forget how gorgeous it is. And then I'm just like, oh my God, this is insane. And hearing Robin play that beautiful guitar line, those arpeggios live was so awesome. I've seen The Perfect Drug now. This is the third time I've seen it, but I still was just like, oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry, Pax. You are kind of in the way. So they played Heresy. But yeah, so many like 4 on the floor bangers in this one. It was overwhelming. And I was thinking about Josh the whole time. I was like, oh my God. I mean, but he had a big break in between, with the B stage. He wasn't on the B stage, but still, they just put him to work. They also played I'm Afraid of Americans, and that was really good. I thought that Josh did such a good job with that one. He just was like improvising and just having fun, and it's great stuff. It was just, yeah, like if you're into drums, this was just a fantastic performance. I mean, everyone did a great job. It was really fun. Now, I have listened to the new song, right, as alive as you need me to be, maybe a few times, but I gotta say, live it was good. I was like, I was dancing, like I couldn't stop myself. I was like, damn, this is a banger, 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 banger. It was so good, and I really loved what Boys Noise did, kind of producing that song, and it was great. It was really, really great. So now I'm a fan. I want to thank everyone that came up to me during the show, and getting to meet you and hug you against your will was great. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Here's an internet high five, and I'll see you next time.